This particular day, homie, it was like a good ass day in the turf, homie. You know what I'm saying? Niggas had woke up, niggas is hustling and shit. Back then, homies would be spread it all out through the hood. Nigga wasn't no one particular street. You know, it might have been that main block, but niggas was everywhere hustling, had females stay different spots. Nigga, you know, the hoods was really cracking back then, homie. And ours was one particular one. Them neighborhood Piru back then, nigga, was particular a cracking area, homie. You know, for money. Homies hanging and lounging from different areas and shit. Niggas loved to come over there, dog. So, this particular day, niggas is G'd up, homie. You know what I'm saying? I had the motherfucking curl at that time, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I got the curl hanging, homie. You know what I'm saying? Fresh tee. You know what I'm saying? Some army green khakis, homie. And some fresh black chucks on, homie. I'm banged out. I'm on a bike. And niggas is with the OG homeboy, Big Dulo PIP. You know what I'm saying? Legendary homeboy. He's banged out. He's on swole. So he got a slingshot on, I think, that day. Khakis, chucks, and some jewelry on and shit. He made sure we all kept rings on our fingers and shit like that. Like, nigga, we out here gangsters, nigga. We gonna stay G'd up. So, and it was, I think it was one more homie with us that day, homie. I'm not sure, homie. But we at the spot, we grinding, niggas is hanging and shit. So, niggas have been smoking weed, drinking, laughing, hustling and shit. And we at the corner spot on the 500 block, High Park. You know what I'm saying? So, and so the homeboy, he suggests, Big Dulo say, blood, you niggas want to get some lunch? It's about lunchtime. Y'all want to get something to eat? We like, hell yeah, blood. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. So we plan on going up to, up on La Brea and shit, across the street from the DMV, if anybody familiar with that shit, La Brea and shit. And, so we go up there, homie, and we plan to go up there, dog. So we all talking about what we gonna get to eat. So I'm like, dude, like, what you gonna get? He like, dog, I probably give me a sandwich or something from Totino's or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with me a sandwich or something. He like, what you gonna get, nigga? I'm like, shit, nigga, I might give me a motherfucking fish plate, cause they had the fish plate up there. I'm like, man, I might get the medium shrimps. 2 filet of soles, cause I fuck with the filet of sole and shit. I don't like fish with bones in it, homie. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna give me some filet of soles and some fries and shit with no salt. You know what I'm saying? I was a young nigga back then, not eating salt heavily and shit, right? Or trying not to. So, yeah, so the other homie, we like, nigga, what you gonna get? Cause I think it was one more homie with us, dog. Shit been a minute, so I'm, you know, running through it, homie. It was a tragic moment, so I'm running through it. So, the homie say he gonna get some. I want to say he said he was gonna hit the Chinese joint, homie. Well, anyway, dog, so the homie like, okay, but let's get ourselves together to get ready to go. So let me remind you, everybody strapped. Everybody strapped. Big Dulo had a 9. The other homie had a 9 or something. And I think I had a 5.7. I think I had a 5.7, homie. So everybody put their heat on him. I put my 5.7 on me. Dulo throw his 9 on him. The homie throw his shit on him. And this how we was moving back in the days. Everybody that know in them 90s like that, nigga, it wasn't nothing for a nigga to grab something, put something on them and be like, nigga, let's go to the store, nigga, and get some potato chips or some. You take some heat with you. It was dangerous as fuck, especially over in our area at that time, homie. So, motherfuckers all arm up and shit, homie. You know what I'm saying? And, we set out. I think one homie was on foot. Big Dulo was on a bike. And I was on a bike. So we had a spot like the second second house from the corner, that was our spot on the 500. You know, back then niggas would take over motherfuckers' pass and shit that was getting high and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, paying they rents, looking out, doing shit for we can have a residence inside the hood and shit. So we set out. I jump on the bike, Big Dulo on the bike. The other homie, I think he on foot. So, you know, niggas that's familiar with that hood riding and keeping up with each other. Niggas be riding slow on bikes and shit. Keep up with the homie that's on foot. Niggas is clowning, moving around and shit like this and shit. So we doing that shit, bro. We cut out. And I remember we crossed over and we get like by Inglewood Ave, going towards up La Brea to get to where we gonna grab some vittles and shit at. And nigga one time had slid up on us and undercovers slid up. But back then, motherfuckers know, like police that really knew us, knew certain reputable dangerous homie, they wouldn't always jump out on motherfuckers. And Big Dulo was one of them crazy motherfuckers where every police really didn't, you had to be really a police in the turf that knew that nigga, that knew the homies and shit, up in your rankings and shit, bro. With that police shit, you couldn't just jump Big Dude on. It was just he a gangster, you damn near, homie. I done seen them gangsters of the law, homie. You know what I'm saying? So the police wind up pulling up on us in the process of our push to go get us some lunch, homie. Hey, what y'all doing today, Dulo? Dulo like, shit, we chilling, man. We finna go get something to eat. Just lounging, homie. We ain't even finna really be out here like that, homie. Fuck around, I think it was a Friday or some shit. Like, we ain't even really finna be out here like that. So they like, what's going on out here today? I think they was freshly on duty or some shit. What's going on out here today? He like, man, it's slow as a motherfucker. Ain't shit cracking, homie. We just coming out. We finna go get something to eat. They like, all right, we gonna be out here. So we like, Dulo like, all right. So we all kind of like waiting, because Big Dulo, that's the big homie. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like all waiting, like what's cracking, nigga? All of us got things on us and shit. Like, nigga, they can have us. So they get on and shit. So Big Dulo, we kind of niggas started riding still a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So he like, he look at me, he like G-Ab. I'm like, what's happening, big homie? He like, what you think? Should we put these motherfuckers up? I'm like, yo, call, dog, what you think? He like, fuck it, let's put them up. I'm like, fuck it, let's put them up, because the motherfuckers how they out here. So we niggas turn around on bikes and shit, and we go put the things up. We give them to the older smoker lady that was there. We give her the things. Put these up. So she go, you know, we give them to her. She go put them up. She close the door. Niggas set back off, bro. This how fast shit happen in the turf, homie. This why the turf ain't really, niggas, the shit wasn't safe back then. Shit can happen at split moment with the police on the 3-4 fucking blocks away from some shit, bro. So we set back out, homie. And we pushing. We talking shit, niggas laughing. Yeah, nigga on bloods, this, bloods, that. We banged out talking shit. And I remember we getting to Inglewood Ave, the corner of Inglewood Ave. I got my motherfucking bike, front wheel dipped down on the motherfucking street. Your front wheel dipped down, getting ready to, you know, kind of ease off down to keep pushing. Motherfucking car slide up right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas like, blood, what's happening? I'm like, blood, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Niggas like, on bloods. I'm like, yeah, nigga, on bloods. What's up, blood? So I ain't really knowing these niggas. So I get at the big homie Dulo like, blood, what's up with these niggas, blood? These some homies? Blood looking and shit. He like, what's up, blood? Niggas like, what's up, blood? So we like, all right, all the time. So them niggas push, we push. Like, blood, this shit was kind of weird, right? Quick as we was like, blood, that shit kind of weird, blood. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, gaining shots get off, nigga. You feel me? Matter of fact, let me back them. When we say that shit weird, we all look at each other like, when they pull off, we look at each other like, blood, let's try to beat it back to the block, to these hammers, blood. So when a nigga turn to pull his bike off, that front wheel off the bike and turn around and get the kind of like easing off, we all easing off. Nigga, gang of shots hit off. Nigga, Nigga, I fall off my bike. I feel like I get entangled in my motherfucking bike and shit, homie. You know what I'm saying? So I fall off my bike and shit. So I'm scrambling like a motherfucker because I'm in motherfucking shock, dog. It's 95. I'm still in my teens. I'm in motherfucking shock. Like, blood, I gotta get the fuck away from this shit, homie. So after serving going on, homie, I'm scrambling like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knowing where the homies at or none of that shit, homie. So the busing stopped, dog. So I remember looking up and shit and seeing my road dog Ghost, homie. He come up out of cut, homie. I'm like, damn. He like, blood, what happened? I'm like, blood, motherfuckers dumped on us, homie. I don't know what the fuck. So he scooped me up. And so I got my arm around him. He like, come on, but I'm kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared as a motherfucker. These niggas done got off motherfucker maybe 40, 50 shots. Nigga, I'm kind of scared, homie. I'm like, dog, I'm looking paranoid. He like, nah, nigga, come on, we gotta go. Quick as he saying that, we get it. Where he grabbed me in from that corner, and we crossing the street. Nigga, another car slide up, nigga. Another car slide up in the mix of us. This nigga pulling me across the street, nigga. I'm like, goddamn, nigga jump out the motherfucking car and aim a motherfucking K machine, assault rifle at us, dog. A nigga deliberately look, I mean, so we like shells, niggas look, and that nigga bust, bow, nigga, we hit the ground, nigga. And I'm looking, that nigga steady getting off, bro. I'm deliberately watching sparks come up off the motherfucking ground, but I'm playing dead, my nigga. I gotta play dead, my nigga. This nigga like walking up, kinda like popping and shit. I'm spooked as a motherfucker, so guess after gaining more shots, I watched this nigga go walk, turn around and walk, and jump in the car, nigga, them niggas slide down to 500. Nigga, I'm like, blood, I jump up. We on the corner building in the hood. Right across the street from Mark Spot, homie. Big old tragic, homie. Big old motherfucking tragic, dog. So, I remember people coming out the building. I'm like, man, call the ambulance. The homeboy hit. Call the ambulance. The motherfucking homeboy hit. So, I go across the street. I think one of the big homegirls, Kiyoki, she was over there and shit. So the homies, niggas is falling out of cuts and shit. Like, blood, what's going down? And the homie Ghost, blood is pure. He's on his back, homie, like this, homie, because I'm on the side of me, you know, because I'm by the building and shit. He on his back. We at war with the Rolling 60s. Inglewood and HPs is at war with Rolling 60s at this time, homie. You know, so it's like, it's cracking. It's gunfire, gun battles. You know, it's all this shit is happening, homie. You know what I'm saying? At this particular time in the hood, homie. It's war season and shit, moving in the summer. And I remember that day I had hit the hood early, hung out, and you know, it be one of them days you function early and shit, and I said, man, I'm going back in, you know, hang out with moms and shit, kick it with moms and shit. So I cut back to the house and shit from the hood, from Roger Park and shit. Nigga was on eucalyptus, hit back to the park, fucked around at the park. And then I fade back to the pad. At that time, I'm staying in Queen Street Hood, Queen Street Blood Hood at that time. You know what I'm saying? They like right across the track from us and shit, our allies and shit. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the same hood with different names and shit. And I fall back over there on that side and shit. Hit a couple homies up and shit. Big Solo them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Bacardi them. You know what I'm saying? No Good them. I hit a couple homies up and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shit, blood, I'm in the house with it. So I go in the house and shit. I'm lounging and shit. Up there smoking herb with moms and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we running it up. So the day moving in, and it's kind of like damn near. I want to say getting dark damn near. You know what I'm saying? It's going in and getting dark almost and shit. So we up there, we smoking stress weed, we eating, and we looking at moms like them black and white scary movies and shit. So we off Night of the Living Dead, different little movies and shit, and we lounging. So as we kicking it and shit, back then it really wasn't no cell phones. Like niggas wasn't really running around with cell phones and shit. So if a motherfucker wanted you, homie wanted to holler at you or something, and he was a solid homie, he can come to the pad, he can knock on the door and get up in the pad and shit. Moms or a family member will let a nigga in or call whoever you want and come to the door. So at this particular time, my road dog, LSD, he come to the door. Now remind you, I didn't left the turf early. I didn't fell back to the house, lounging, kicking it, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And life still goes on in the turf. You know, even though a nigga not there, shit still moving on. So as shit moving on, shit then went straight haywire on the streets. You know what I'm saying? From what I come to find out, nigga, that it was major roaring motherfucking streets. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So anyway, the homie come knock on my door, and I think my mom's like LSD at the door. So I go to the door and shit, step outside the door, and kind of like close the door so moms and everybody won't be in the nigga conversation. So we on the stairway and shit. So I'm like, blood was bracket. That's how we talking back then and shit. That was the language. Everything kind of like with a beat. I'm like, blood was bracket. So he like, blood. I'm like, what's happening? He like, blood. Shit been way crazy, homie. I'm like, run it down. And he like, blood. Homies was on the shawl, all kind of shit popping. They talking about gunfire was just going down and shit rapidly. The homie Big Taco get shot. And he saying it's some niggas from Rolling 60s that done got shot. These niggas done had a major motherfucking street battle, I guess. So, you know, so he briefly filling me in. He like, man, let me get your thing. You know what I'm saying? He came to borrow my thing, run it down to me and to borrow my thing. But at them times, you know what I'm saying, things was kind of short. I had already had one that was in the street, you know what I'm saying, that got gone, you know what I'm saying. So this one, a nigga was like, nigga, I'm holding on to this motherfucker. Any real nigga know back in the day, a nigga really wasn't trying to let a heat go. A nigga damn near go with his heat like, nigga, fuck it, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to use it. You be like, nigga, hold on, I'll go. So that's what wound up happening. He like, the homie up there shot, the Rolling 60s up there deep. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? We need a heat up at that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck that blood. I'll go, homie. So, excuse me. So I go back in the pad. I tell Mom, I'm like, Mom, Taco done got shot. It's going down out here. I'm going to go up there and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell her I'm going to go up there with the heat and shit. But I tell her I'm going to go up there. So she like, you sure you want to go up there? Man, you know, she rapping like a mother. Like, you sure you want to go up there? That shit dangerous and shit like that. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. Woo, woo. So, bam, I grabbed the heat. And that day, you know what I'm saying, I happened to have on some black Reeboks, black and white Reeboks, some green Jabot jeans. They had them green Jabot jeans, and I had like a black t-shirt, and I had the curl, you know what I'm saying? I had like 2 long ponytails hanging like this and shit. And so I throw the strap in my back pocket and shit. Bam. Throw the strap in my back pocket and jump in the car with the homie LSD. And at that time, we was hanging with a nigga named KK from Blackstone and shit. I don't know how solidified he was, but he was, you know, right, you know, in his turf. But he was claiming Blackstone was hanging out with us and shit. So we jump in KK car and shit, and we push up there to Daniel Freeman Hospital and shit. This when Daniel Freeman was popping. So when we push up there, to the parking lot, it's a gang of one times and shit in the parking lot. Cause you got the homie running it down to me. You got 2 gangs in there shot. You got blood shot in that motherfucker, and you got Crips shot in that motherfucker, homie. So it's totally going down. So when we pulling up, KK like blood police in that motherfucker thick. So he parked on the street. KK parked on the street, homie, and we bail in. So KK like blood, leave the strap in the car since one time thick. We don't know what might happen. Let's leave the strap in the car. So we like, fuck it. We leave the strap in the car and shit, and we push up there. Cause one time it was all thick in the parking lot, asking niggas where they going, who they coming to visit, what's going on and shit. So doing a little questioning on they little bullshit, we wind up getting into the hospital, into Daniel Freeman. So when I bail up in here, the homies been already, you know, that's why they came and got me, because these niggas up in here thick as a motherfucker. So when we get up in that motherfucking shit, niggas up in it, we like talking and shit, like, yeah, blood, you know, like, damn, shit cracking. And I'm seeing them niggas from 60s ain't in there. I remember it was a nigga with a white slingshot on, dark skin nigga with a fro. So he up in there talking shit, rapping, going crazy, talking shit and shit. You know what I'm saying? Crippin' and cousin real vicious than a motherfucker. So doing this rapping and all that shit. He talking, you know, they trying to find out what's up with they homeboy. I don't know if it's sounding good, looking good, or what the thing is. So it wind up going into them niggas talking about putting in work, it's on, nigga, this and that and shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them niggas and shit. Now remind you, homie, we in the hospital with these niggas, homie. Bloods and Crips, we in the hospital with these niggas. 2 niggas shot in the back. Nigga Big Taco in the back with a gunshot wound. And then nigga from 60s in the back with a gunshot wound. So we in there. So the dark skinned nigga, he woofing. He like, I guess niggas, they talking about he like, nigga, we ain't gotta go nowhere, nigga. Some of them niggas in here right now, nigga, we ain't gotta go nowhere. So during this time, all this shit, we in here talking, nigga, you know, we politicking on our side. They kind of like politicking in that motherfucker, right? So LSD, the homie tapped me. He like, man, fuck that. Go get that heat. So, remind you, a nigga not even knowing what's going on outside, because we done been in the inside. So one time then kind of started, they filtered out. They gone. They didn't filter it out. So the homie like, go get that heat. So now I go out of Daniel Freeman door, instead of me keeping my motherfucking mouth closed, going straight to some motherfucking heat, walking out the door. You know, I see it's a nigga at the door. He's from 60s. He talking to a broad. So like I said, instead of me walking out the door, keeping my mouth closed, going straight to get some iron, I call myself banging on this nigga. So as I'm bailing out, you know, I'm on one, I bail out. I look at the nigga. You know, I look at the nigga up and down. The nigga blued up. So I'm like, what's happening, blood? And the nigga like, what you say? I'm like, what's happening, blood? And so I remember the nigga just looked back at me. And I remember seeing the nigga lift up his shirt. Nigga take out the thing and get the busting. Bow, 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 bow. The nigga hit me. The nigga hit me, homie. Blow a motherfucking hole in my motherfucking thigh and hip. So I hit the motherfucking ground, but I ain't really knowing how it's really, like, how bad this shit is, cause the nigga blow me back, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I see the nigga flee and shit. So the homies in the inside, after the busing stopped, my homeboy LSD, he kind of like run right, cause I'm right in front of the door, homie. As soon as you walk out the Daniel Freeman door, this nigga was leaning against the little rail right there. So as soon as I step out, homie, 3-4 feet, look at this nigga, I get bust on. So I'm right by the door. So after the busing, my homeboy LSD, he stick his hand out the motherfucking doors and grab me and drag me in and shit. When this is like early 90s, maybe 90, 91 era or something. And I remember being on Hyde Park with my auntie. We was hustling. And so we wound up getting in the car. She like, make this run with me. So I wound up getting in the car with her, and we riding through the neighborhood. So we shoot up Hyde Park, make a right, I think, go up Glen Way, then wind up turning down another street, then coming around, and then wind up making a left, going up Venice Way, inside the hood. So when we going up Venice Way, it's like an apartment building, a gray apartment building. And it's like a big complex, like kind of like not in the center, but close to the center of the block, with a lot of apartments inside that one big complex. So I remember seeing the big homeboy, Don L, he out there, homie, and he firing on a nigga. So I'm like, damn, I tell my auntie stop. So I jump out the car, I'm like, what's up with this nigga, big homie? He like, this nigga got an ear rag, homie. This nigga had an ear rag on him. And it was some broad out there hollering and shit. I guess he wound up visiting her, or they falling out. But I didn't know an ear rag at that time was a blue cloth rag bandana. You know what I'm saying? That nigga got an ear rag on him. That nigga, the broad screaming. So the homie like, that nigga got it. So I'm like, damn, what is that? So I later found out that was a blue rag. So I jump out. So we beating up on this dude trying to squabble, but you know he out-handled, homie. So we wind up mixing dude, homie. So the big homeboy, I think he fuck around and break his hand or fuck his hand up. I fucked mine up. People got to hollering and screaming about calling the police. So bam, we wind up, everybody, I jumped in the car and my auntie cut out and the homeboy cut out, the big homeboy cut out. Another moment, homie, we on eucalyptus in my turf, homie. And for some reason, homie, them Compton Crip niggas, they used to like to come through our turf a little bit, homie. We used to get a few of them dudes, maybe from Santana and little spots like that, but them Compton Crips, they kind of had a thing with, you know, visiting females inside of our turf in the Inglewood neighborhood, Power Rules inside of Inglewood. So anyway, I remember the homies, we was on bail patrol, I guess coming from the port or going to the port. And something happened, because we see these rip dudes, I don't know if they pulled up, and some homie, they pulled up going in. I don't know if they gave us that energy like that, but we pushed on them. And I remember we threw a brick at them fools, homie. Fools got the busing on us. Baka, 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 baka. So we spread out. Homie. So they cut up in the building. Homie spread out, they cut up in the building. However it go, they car still out there. Niggas is waiting. We like, man, what's happening with these niggas, man? You know what I'm saying? And that, once again, that's another big complex on eucalyptus that we had in our hood, homie. So hoods with these apartments, homie, it'd be a lot of ground to cover than house hoods. You know, hoods with houses. When you in the side of a hood community with apartments, homie, sometimes it'd be a lot of coverage, a lot of footwork, slipzation through different sides coming through there, homie. So anyway, we waiting on these dudes, homie, and back in the days, homies would do burn shit. So time going on time, we'd do burn shit like air a motherfucker car out. So it was taking so too long for these dudes to come out after hours because we had a little spot on the corner spot of that block. So we was able to kind of peek and see if that car was moving or what. So we wind up airing off the car back in the day. Dudes would do stuff like that. If they couldn't really catch you, dudes would shoot your car up and shit like that. So we wind up airing later on that night. The homies wind up airing out that car. Boom, 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 boom. Just to let them know. You come to the hood, homie, and you disrespect, you're gonna have a problem. Dudes will do that whether if they shot you, hurt you or not. We'll send little symbolic messages through this street shit that we once lived, homie. And another incident is we caught some Crips in the hood one time, homie. And I don't know. This was matter of fact. This was going into like in the 89, maybe 90. Can't really mix them days up, homie. But I know the OG homeboy, Big Cleto, BSV, BIP, he was alive, homie. And he was in our turf. You know what I'm saying? That was like, he helped, help the strength develop around there in the turf. So he had hands-on over there in our turf inside the Inglewood neighborhood, Power Rules, hands-on with homies in our development with this gangster shit. So I remember he fresh out. I guess he was fresh out. He had the perm, G'd up and everything. It's about 4 young homeboys. We sitting on the porch inside the 500 block building. And we just listening to these war stories he's sending and this gangster messages that he's sending to us, homie, how to be soldiered up. So dudes that hustle, that was fresh out sometime, they'll stash they product or whatever they was hustling in behind the buildings, behind in parking stalls and in behind buildings. So I guess the OG homeboy Cleto, he go to the apartment building, back of the apartment building and go do his thing. But now remind you, in these apartment buildings that was in the building parking structure behind us, you can look up and see an apartment building. They had balconies, homie. And I remember some dudes was up there like, yeah, cuz, just chilling, lounging and having a good ass time, homie. And the OG homeboy came back, did what he had to do, and he pulled all 4 of us and walked us back to the back of the building. So we all got to listening to these dudes' conversation up there, having a good time, saying they words, yeah, cuz, this, that, and this. So bam, we walk back into the back of the building. So we young, we like, damn, these dudes over here, it's really going down like that. So he like, I'm gonna show y'all an OG tactic, how to scare dudes up out the hood, homie. You know what I'm saying? So he asked us, anybody out here pop the thing yet? So we all like real young teens. So nobody was like, nah, ain't nobody really got cracking like that. So I remember one of the young homeboys, he ain't here no more. He was like, I'll get down. So I remember he had like a 22, and he went back there, and the OG homeboy, Big Cleto, BIP, he said, dump that thing in the air. Homie gave it all. It was like a 22 with probably like 10 shots in there, with it. 22 long with it. It was looked like a 9, but it had a long clip in there. He get all dow. Had the fools ducking and everything. He didn't pop nothing. The young homie didn't pop nothing. He just popped in the air and scared them fools off the balcony. And just by them knowing they was in a bad zone, homie, probably shook them dudes up. You want to eat, homie. You want some chicken and Roscoe's, homie. You want to go upscale, or you want to stay hood and hit the Burger Palace. He like, man, let's stay hood and hit the Burger Palace. So bam, from the storage spot, homie, We jump in the truck and we we drive in the truck. You know what I'm saying? We push there. Man, we push up in the burger palace on the corner and they turf. At that time, homie, it's clear up in there. You know, it's a few, regular civilians ordering, but it's clear in there, homie. For it's like, people, anybody looking like they bang from that area. So, bam, we jump up out the truck. Remind you, I ain't even ironed up, homie. Because we was in this process of moving. And we, like I said, we not really knowing if how the outcome was gonna be, but we wind up getting something to eat and pushing over there. So bam, we get out the car, out the truck, and we bail up in there. So it's a couple people ahead of us, homie. So you know what I'm saying, we waiting our turn. People wind up going. So I get up there and place my order, homie. I give me a burger special. You know what I'm saying? It's early, but I'm like, I want a burger, fresh burger and fries and shit. So I give me a fresh burger and fried ranch. And the OG homeboy order him a breakfast. Hot cakes, sausages, hash browns, and all that old stuff, homie. So we get his hook up. So in the midst of us ordering, we fall to a little table, homie. We just sitting, homie. We just sitting and posting for a minute. Chopping it up about what we gonna do when we get back to the turf and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, we had a hood spot at that time, so we was like, man, we might go to the hood spot, post up, try to make $1 or $2. So we just shooting the shit back and forth, homie. In the midst of us shooting the shit back and forth, I noticed like probably maybe 5 or 7 dudes bell up in there, homie. And we kind of like tucked off in a little table and shit. So like 5 or 7 dudes come up in there, banged out, homie. Banged out street attire, do-rag, big t-shirt. We was wearing big t-shirts at that time. Khakis, Chucks, you know what I'm saying, blue belts, you know what I'm saying, Cortez, you know what I'm saying, Chucks, white tees, homie, braids and shit. So I'm looking at these dudes come in. So I tell the OG homeboy TP, I'm like, dog, it might be problems, homie. So I'm like, man, some dudes just belt in, G'd up. So we kind of cut his head and look, nigga, he like, whoa. So we like, damn, hoping the order come up and we can get on. And then in my mind, I'm hoping that we could kind of throw them all. Cause the OG homeboy TP was like an older looking homie, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking we might can slither up out of here without no major, you know what I'm saying, uprise, homie. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, homie, one of them dudes that they get the filtering through there, homie, moving around, homie, and couple of them dudes moving around, because like I say, later come to find out that's they turf. So now they moving around and shit, and they glue in on me. So one of them say, Cuz, where you from, Cuz? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, looking, I don't really say nothing. And he like, hey, Cuz, where you from, Cuz? So I tell the nigga, I'm like, homie, I'm from Inglewood, homie. And so one nigga like, say, Cuz, what he say? And nigga said he say he from Inglewood. He was like, Cuz, fuck that, what hood he from, Cuz? So I'm like, damn, these niggas is pushing and shit. So the OG homeboy, he looking at me, I'm looking at the OG homeboy. So nigga say, Cuz, where you from? You say you from Inglewood, what set you from out of there? So I'm like, shit. And so I'm like, homie, neighborhood power rule, homie. And he like, which one? Compton or Inglewood, homie? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, Inglewood, homie, you know what I'm saying? That's, So one of them niggas like, say, Cuz, ask that nigga, do he know my peoples? If he don't know my peoples, Cuz, mix him. So I'm like, shit, like this nigga talking about. So I'm like, he was like, so one nigga was like, say, Cuz, whoop-de-whoop. So I'm like, yeah, I forgot what name they asked me for my turf, but it was a reputable. Fool like, God, describe them, cuz. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying, the name he said, I'm like, brown skinned, you know what I'm saying, tatted, wooty wop whoop. I get a hold, because back then, homie, it wasn't like no social media type shit. It was just straight like that. If somebody had his peoples or family members from a different community turf, and you couldn't describe somebody family member or somebody homeboy or loved one to a T, homie, them was grounds nigga was gonna get a shiner, black eye, drew down, or bust on. So I wound up describing the homie down to the T. So he was like, yeah, look, that's him, cuz. Yeah, you know, that's him, cuz. So he was like, hey, homie, what y'all doing over here? I'm like, dog, we just, you know, I'm running down that we was moving. My peoples came over here to get some food, homie, and I'm fully aware of where I'm at, homie. I just want to get some food and get, I asked him, I just want to get some food and get on. Can I just get some food and get on? He was like, yeah, God, lucky you know my people, God. Get your food, get up out of here, God, because it be going down over here on A7. So when our order got up, nigga, we grabbed our food and got the full-fledged funk up out of there real. This story right here, the homie said, have a rep ever dissed you inside the institution, made you feel out of pocket and out of character, homie, disrespected you. And I would have to say yes, homie. I would have to say yes. This is probably like 1997, homie. Los Angeles County Jail, dog. And I'm mainlining it, homie. I'm mainlining it, homie. I'm on one of these floors, homie. I can't really recall, but I'm mainlining it, homie. And whatever floor I'm on, in a pack of cats that I'm around, homie, cripping and shit, we kind of, you know, wind up building kind of like, you know, a lightweight rapport, homie, because we not, you know, direct enemies, you know, we not buddy, but it's a respect rapport that I have for these dudes and some of these dudes have for me. These respect pours, homie, that shit ain't for everybody. It's just who can mix and who got the same style, homie. I might be cool with this cat right here from this turf, but I can't stand his homeboys. I ain't cool with his homeboy, but me and him can kind of dialogue to kind of level things out. So anyway, I'm up on this floor, homie, and like I said, it ain't really no static. You know, it's Crips up here. I'm up there with him, homie, and I don't think it's maybe too many homies, dog. So I don't know if I'm particularly going to court this day or what, but I remember we in movement, homie. We in movement. And I'm coming down the escalators at them times, homie. We moving around, we coming down the escalators, homie. And I remember it's Crips and everything. All on the line, homie, and we coming down the escalators, homie. And at this particular time, too, inside the county jail, I had a few young homeboys that was in a juvenile module in the Los Angeles County Jail, homie. And at them time, them dudes was fighting time. My younger homies at that time was fighting time, and they was over there squabbling and trying to make a name for themselves. You know, that juvenile module inside that county jail, that's pretty tough. That's a tough spot to be at, too. So anyway, the homies had been making their moves, and it had been cracking over there, homie. So, you know, amongst the Crips and the Bloods and shit like that, you know, young homies was getting at them. Them dudes was getting at young homies. And them dudes was even trying to stick each other, homie. I was hearing and shit. So, like I said, I'm in movement and shit like that, homie. And here and on the other side of the escalator, homie, you got people coming up those, homie. But I'm not knowing them the juvenile cats at that time, the juvenile module dudes, homie. So as they coming up and we coming down, homie, and the escalator's kind of moving slow. It's they just line it in. I remember a dude like I don't know how this fool registered in on me, homie, but he was like hey, homie. I'm like, what's up, homie? He like, you from neighborhood pop, bro? I'm like, yeah, homie. Why? What's up, homie? And I'm just, tripped out that he just, hey, homie, you from neighborhood? And I'm in a line, anybody moving through that county jail, motherfucker, ask you something, you feel a certain type of way, you gonna speak on it, you gonna speak on your turf proudly or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm neighborhood pop, homie. Motherfucker spit on me, homie, and throw an apple at me and shit, some shit he had in his bag, start throwing little shit at me and shit. And this, homie, nigga, fuck ops, nigga. So I'm like, damn, homie. So I'm feeling way out of character and pocket, homie. So I go to try to go over the elevator and shit. And I remember the sheriff come rush me. How about that's a juvenile mod? You want some more charges and gaffle me up? So I fool like, yeah, you ob ass nigga. So I kind of want to diss, homie. But I'm on the line, like I said, with some Rip dudes I kind of respect. And I remember OG Rip dude, like, hey, Half, don't do it like that, homie. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it like that, homie. You know what I'm saying? Because they seen it. I was ready to go in on the diss mode, homie. YouTube, what it do? Top of the morning, and Happy New Year's, pushing into the few days of the 2023. This story right here is why I stopped busting straps on New Year's. What made me just hold my heat, hold my ammo, and just lock it on down. And what I mean lock it on down is lock your hammer down and just keep what you got and just program for the new year. This in the 90s, homie. And the block is the 500 block at this time. You know what I'm saying? We hanging on the 500 block. And a couple homies got spots. Different dudes is living up on that block. So it's cracking. And everybody know on New Year's in your hood, it's drink, it's laughter, it's food. Homies is out there, dog. And you hustling at them times. It wasn't no break. So you hustling full scale still. So, homie, as the day start going in, as the day start closing in, going into that midnight, everybody got their ammo ready to bust it and have a good time, dog. So I'm part of that pack on ready to bust and have a good time with the New Year's. So anyway, to cut into the story, dog, I'm out there on the block, couple more homies on the block. And so the countdown is on. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Niggas dumping. Boom, 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 boom. Homies getting off. Pop, 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 pop. So all kind of shit. Niggas used to do that type of shit and be listening to other motherfuckers in different areas, seeing who giving it up too. So at this particular time, I give it up. I had an 8-ball. I give it up. Boom, 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 boom. Reload it. Give it up again. Boom, 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 boom. And I only left with like 2 shells after I reload and clowning and, enjoy the festivity with the homies. I'm only stuck with 2 shells. Now, at that time, homie, sometimes it used to be hard to get ammo. Sometimes you got to make a few calls. Homies will be asking other homies before you can get a collection of the shit, the supplies you need at them times, homie. So anyway, dog, after the festivities of niggas busting for the New Year's and shit, time going into like 1 o'clock. And I had a spot in the turf that I stayed in, reside in and shit. So around like 1 o'clock, homie still on the block. I'm like, dog, I'm a peel. Now, dudes know if you lived in your neighborhood back then, walking and shit, that was the thing to do. That wasn't nothing out the norm, homie. Just, foot patrolling and walking through your neighborhood, dog. So I greet the homies, dog, I'm gone. I'm up out of here, dog. I'm out of here, homie. And niggas like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm figuring, it slipped my mind that sometime in this gang banging lifestyle, at them time, we used to plot about who gonna take off first for these New Years. Like, let's get cracking first. Let's go rush some niggas first, or let's kick it off first. Figuring in our sick gang banging minds, this gonna give us the one up, or this gonna set the turf up, and that way to put us on a nigga. We get cracking first. We on defense. We coming out on top. So this whole shit slipped my mind from enjoying the busting in the air, drinking and cocktailing with the homies and smoking weed. So now I pursued out on foot in the turf. I had a spot on Plymouth at this time, dog. So I'm pushing out to go to the spot on Plymouth. So I cut up the 500 block. I cross over and cutting towards the 500, around the 500 block, cutting on that street. That's going towards Inglewood Ave, homie. So I'm like, dog, I turn up that way and cut up Inglewood Ave and get the belling up Inglewood Ave. Now, if anybody familiar with Inglewood, on the Inglewood neighborhood, Piru side of Inglewood Ave, that's a dangerous street too. Hyde Park, Victor, it's a few eucalyptus, it's a few dangerous streets over there back in the days, homie, that niggas is known for getting, bust on, some of my homies and shit like that. We didn't have shootouts and all kind of shit over there. So I cut up that dangerous motherfucker. But like I said, I'm in my mind that, the homies on the block, everybody kind of in their hoods or in their zones, and it's cool. So, bam, I'm up the block, and that day, it's New Year's, so I came out flamed up. Just straight off the natch, I came out flamed up. White K-Swiss on, cherry strings, tan khakis, cherry belt, cherry sweatshirt, and I had a cherry 76er jacket I used to push. So I'm cherry down through the turf, homie. So I'm cutting up Inglewood Ave, dog, and I see a car fly past me. So I look at that motherfucker, but I ain't tripping and shit. I'm belling. I'm like, fuck it. I ain't too far from the pad, and I got two shells left, and the homies is on another block. So I'm belling and shit, looking around, belling, and I see that car as I get to like the middle of the block. I get up Inglewood Ave. I get by Highland Elementary, homie. And before I cross the street to continue up Inglewood Ave, before I get to Plymouth, I see that car come back. That motherfucker stop. And motherfuckers already had their windows down. When they stop, I see that motherfucker flying. I'm looking, I got the thing. But when that motherfucker kind of skirt, homie, it kind of like tripped me out. So I kind of like bag up. And the motherfucker start busting out the window on me. Bow, 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 bow. So I ducked down, homie, taking cover with the two shots on me. I can't really see shit. I'm behind the car. So when I hear the shots up, I kind of jump up. I see the car. I run out in the street and get a car too. Bow, bow. Like, fuck it, homie. You know what I'm saying? These niggas just got off on me. Nigga, fuck it. I get them. Bow, bow. And so back then, like I say, cell phones really wasn't plentiful, homie. So I didn't have no cell phone, dog. So from there, I bring straight to the spot and to where the little female at I was going to. I get her up, get her back, and like tell her, let me get the keys to the car. I get her car, and I cut back to the block and alert the homies I just got bust on and shit, homie. And from there, niggas politicking, that's what it was. But that was my moral, not the story. The moral of that story is, nigga, that's why I don't bust my shells out. That's why I don't dump no straps out. Because you don't even know if you gonna need these motherfuckers after the new year. Or you can't get no ammo fast, and you didn't bust it out on having a good time, and then your life become in danger, homie, and you can't even protect yourself, dog, like you really want to, homie. You fuck around and get down on anything. So the motto is to the young G's out here, dog, hold your straps for New Year's. Hold your shells, homie, because you never know what situation you might get in where you need that heat, homie. 89 on up, G shit, NYE shit, and just serving something for 2023, homie.